Hey everybody, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator. And welcome back to Salmon, Idaho. We're still in our 389. This is just the regular base game 389. It's not the Viper 389 or anything. I didn't see that convert over to 1.38 yet. It's still coming in as, when I look in my garage, those trucks, the 3 Viper 389s that we had, all come in as not available. So I don't know if that ever got patched up to 1.38, or if it did, maybe it wasn't through the Steam workshop and I didn't update it yet. I don't know. It's been super busy. So we do have a skin running. Last episode, well, ETS, last truck video we did was ETS. We did not have a skin. We were on the backup system, and I had not brought those local files over. I need to do that, put those on a thumb drive so they're available if we ever do hop on another system. But if my question was, last ETS episode, is there a difference between running on the 1050 and running on the 1660 Ti? Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable saying there is a difference. I love it. I love it. I'm a very fortunate person that I can game the way I can, and it is something that I'm grateful for every day. Less talking, more rocking. Let's get to it. We're going to take something. We're going to take something to central Idaho, and we're going to try to tick off some of these cities. I'll show you where we're going. We are in Salmon. We're going to Nampa. We're going to go down through Ketchum. We have to take this little road right here to get through Ketchum. Then we're going to go down and head west through Boise to Nampa. We still didn't get Pocatello, and then at some point we need to get Sandpoint and Coeur d'Alene. But we'll do those. Oh, there goes my voice. How far did we make it? A minute and a half, almost 2 minutes. We'll do those some other episode, but yep, a lot of cities to tick off the list in Idaho. Here we go. So we got lift axle up, windows down, and we're going to turn around the corner here and head back through town and get this picked up. I had to try quite a few trailers until I found something leaving Salmon. Apparently there's not a lot of depots, not a lot of industry in this town, but that's a good thing. That's realism. It's immersive, and we like that. So very cool. And what else is going on in truck world? I haven't heard anything about 1.39 yet, other than just the very sort of vague hint that it's going to be all about graphics. And I'm looking forward to see what that includes, because the way that SCS is handling it, I feel like every update sort of jumps ahead in some category, right? We made a big jump in graphics a couple patches ago, then we made a big jump in sound, and now we're going to make another jump in graphics. I love it. I really do. And we'll talk about, as we get rolling here, we'll talk a little bit about developers and how they handle this stuff. Is there no traffic in Salmon? Is that what's going on? It's, what time is it? It's like 10 in the morning. Is it not? Where's my clock at? I know we can get one on the pop-up, but I don't want to use that one. I don't know what time it is. I want to say it's early, but we haven't seen any vehicles yet, and that is a little off-putting. I hope we don't have a problem with traffic spawn. Right, so let's head down here and we'll get rolling. 1.39, yeah, no news on 1.39, and so consequently no news on Iberia and Colorado. So we'll see what happens with those. And what else is going on? So WRC 8 did drop on Steam. It dropped on the 3rd of September. For some reason I was thinking it was going to be closer to... No, reverse that. WRC 8 dropped on... Yeah, no, I said that right. No. Yes? WRC 9 dropped on the 3rd. That's it. WRC 9 dropped on the 3rd on the Epic Game Store. WRC 8 dropped on Steam a while later. It is, it's 25% off. It's $30. I haven't got it yet. And I haven't got WRC 9 yet either. And I think the reason I've been sort of hesitant to get either one of them is... Hang on, let's make this big turn here. There's no traffic behind us, so we can swing out and not worry about somebody trying to sneak past. Got it? Carefully. So what I did a while back is I hooked up my flight stick, or I guess I activated my flight stick in Dirt Rally 2.0 as a handbrake. And it's fantastic. It changes the way I rally completely. Go right here, down to neutral, set the brake, and let's pick up our job. Right here. We're taking some cheese. some Idaho cheese, and we're taking it down. Yeah, I need to remember. I always forget to do this. I need to remember to adjust the route so we definitely go through Ketchum, because we won't have a reason to go back that way unless we specifically go that way. And now our pickup point is, looks like it's right over there. So I think if I remember this yard and if I know my developers, I think if we, yeah, I was going to take that immediate right and head right down there, but it's the other way. So we're going to go around this way and back it in. So yeah, I hooked up a handbrake. It's really the first time I've ever used a handbrake, and it's one of those things I just sort of resigned myself to not being able to use a handbrake. You can put it on a button on your wheel, but I always found that to be too binary, for one thing, and also because of the way you have to throw the wheel around, you never know where your button's going to be, right? Like if your wheel is 180 degrees, then your buttons are all inverted from where you would normally have them. You know what I mean? They're not where they normally land under your thumb. We might be able to do this in one swing. And so consequently, I didn't use it. Well, that, and like I said, it's binary. It's on off. You touch the handbrake button and it just throws the car into a skid versus, well, I got a lot of momentum there, versus being able to kind of feather it and use it properly. So for that reason, I never used the handbrake until this truck feels like it's kind of wants to get away from us. Interesting. I did hook up the flight stick, and you can use it like a proper handbrake. You can feather it. The problem is I don't have a race rig. I have an office chair that I have to, don't laugh, that I have to like strap to my desk so I don't go flying backwards. I found a nice, like, discreet way to do it. It's not like anybody comes in my office, but it looks all right. But I have to like clip my office chair to my desk. And so consequently, I don't have a little platform to put my handbrake on off to the right or to the left, depending on how you get down. I don't have that. So what I found was, same thing, if I strap my flight stick to the arm of the chair, then I can use it that way. Oh, okay. We're going on 7 p.m., so we're going to have a night video. Interesting. For some reason, I thought it was early morning. Oh, well.
Let's go.
So we'll hop back in here. All right. Brake is off. Lift axle is up. How are we doing on fuel? Half a tank. I think we can make half a tank. Oh, hang on. Before I forget, always forget. Before I forget, let's adjust our route right there. I totally would have forgot that. 338 miles. We might make it in one episode. We've already been rolling for 10 minutes, so not likely, but it's possible. All right, here we go. And to get out of here, let's go this way. Let's go over on this side. So yeah, I have to essentially tie my flight stick to the arm of my chair, and it's just, I don't know. It works, but I just don't feel good about it. I just don't like, I don't know. I don't like that sort of contrived fix. But what I find is I can't rally without the handbrake anymore. And I guess that makes sense, right? Because it is such a critical part of making those very sharp turns, and even the wider sort of high-speed drifting kind of turns. You just really, or at least I just really can't do it without the handbrake. So I think that's why I've been holding off on WRC8 and WRC9. And really, I don't know if I want to get both of them. You know, it's $80. 80? 90. Whoa. Careful. I want to say, yeah, this is terrible visibility. I want to say it's 60 for WRC9 and 30 with the discount for WRC8. So yeah, $90 for two rally sims that are essentially the same sim, but one of them is newer, right? Updated. So I don't know. I'm holding off on it for the moment. And what else is going on? Not all of, but more of the preserved content for Train Sim World 2 is supposed to port over this week. Now it's already Thursday, This week goes technically, I guess, till Sunday evening, Sunday afternoon. But when I think of this week, I tend to think of EOD Friday, right? COB Friday. So they've got, to me, 24 hours. And it's, if it shows up, great. If it doesn't, so what? It's not that big a deal. But I'm curious how much of that content they're going to get ported over. I don't believe anything Dovetail says anymore. And I don't mean that in like a harsh way or anything, but I feel like we've got a little Stockholm syndrome with Dovetail. The company has lied so many times, and I will absolutely say that out loud. I'm not trying to be negative. I try to keep things positive on the channel. So I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to be an ass. But really, they are a deceptive company. They've got some practices that are very questionable. And the idea that we've been sort of compelled to buy a game if we want to be able to buy things in the future, I don't know. It's really disappointing. And it's on us. It's on me. I contributed to that because I did I pre-ordered Train Sim World 2. And that reinforces to Dovetail that, yeah, people will put up with this sort of thing. They'll buy the Sims. There we go. Regardless of business practices and everything else, we'll put up with it. And so what incentive do they have to do things differently? But unknown whether or not they'll get that content out this week. And I also noticed, now I thought they were just going to port your DLC content over to TSW2, but I guess it does duplicate it. So maybe they are doing some things in there, unknown. But I noticed that I have, like the Peninsula Corridor route, I have in both my content folders for both of those Sims. And it's 150 gig of DLC. So if they duplicate it, that will be 300 gig of DLC, and that's too big a chunk of my hard drive. So I need to remind myself to uninstall those or deactivate them on the TSW 2020 side so that they only exist on the TSW2 side as they get ported over, as they bring them in. And then that way there'll only be one copy of it on my hard drive. And for the more current, the more updated of the two Sims. I say updated, barely updated. Oh, what a mess. And man, I've heard this. I've heard people say this, and I saw a comment. Now, admittedly, this is one comment. This is one person's opinion, and it's the internet, so it might not even be true. But I saw a comment from somebody that said the only time they have ever been bullied on the internet in their life was by Train Sim fans. And they didn't mention specifically what Train Sim it was. I'm not saying it was the Train Simulator or TSW franchises by Dovetail. I'm not implying that at all. They just said Train Simulator fans in general, and there are several others floating around out there. But that's the only time they've ever been bullied on the internet. And it's one of those things where you realize as you're looking through comments by Train Sim fans on Steam or on Reddit or what have you, that statement holds together, right? Like if you told me, what's a good example? Well, SCS. If you said truck sim people have bullied me, okay. I mean, that's your truth. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I've not personally seen that type of behavior. But if you told me that train sim people had bullied you, I would say, yeah, I could see that because I've been on the forums. Now, I personally haven't had to deal with anything like that, but they're an unusual bunch. They really are. And the degree to which people white knight Dovetail is fascinating. They really, I don't get it. It's just a development studio. It's just a game studio. But people really defend it passionately, sort of in the face of all logic and objective fact. The Train Sim World 2 is Train Sim World 2020 with an engine update. There's a couple other things added, but they're pretty bad. And it does run slightly faster. But the way that has been accomplished is to potato the graphics. That's just a fact. That's not, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. That's just a fact. You can play the games side by side if you have them both, and I do. And you can see the difference in the texture quality in Train Sim World 2 versus Train Sim World 2020, particularly on the sand patch route, because that is the only, what we could think of as the only base game route that I currently have where I can play both of them and have them be not DLC, because, am I saying that right? Because the other, like Peninsula Corridor, I can play in Train Sim World 2 or Train Sim World 2020, but it's a DLC in both of them, versus Sand Patch, which is base game in both of them. So I can see the difference. On the same settings, I can see the difference in the texture quality. I can see the difference in draw distance. And TSW2 does play slightly faster, but the graphics are obviously potatoed. So again, that somebody would, I guess, know that. I mean, how can you not know that? It's right there. You can see it. You can verify it for yourself. And that somebody would look at that and say, "Oh, no, man, you're mistaken. You just want to hate on the game." I don't want to hate on a game. Why would I want to hate on a game? I have no emotional stake in the train simulator or the TSW franchise. I have no emotional stake in that. It's a sim that I enjoy. It's a sim that I'm very frustrated by. Well, I take that back. I'm frustrated by the developer, less so than the sim. But what emotional stake do I have in that? It's just pixels, man. It's just pixels. I mean, even the sims that I like the most, something like Truck Sim or Farm Sim, my racing sims, I have no emotional stake in those. It's just a hobby, man. It really is. So I don't get it. I don't get that very emotional response that people have. And I know some of it is the internet. The internet is a weird place. It's a consequence-free environment. You can say and do whatever you want, and nothing bad is going to happen to you. And it's also, I mean, gaming, honestly, realistically, as many adults as are into gaming right now, gaming is kid stuff. And adults, and I include myself in this category. Oh, let me choose my words very, very carefully here. As adults, it's like we should almost have better things to do. And I think for most adults, for most healthy adults, they are able to very clearly like draw the line between important things and gaming. So something like family. You know, you hear these stories about people that they can't step away from the console, they can't step away from the PC to spend time with their family. That's messed up. It really is. So as adults, you know, we should sort of have better things to do with our time. And if we have some spare time, right, and we can indulge in our hobby, great, but it should never take priority over anything important. Carefully, sir. So when I see that type of behavior and I know it's not just limited to gaming, but that's my sort of primary social interaction with people online tends to center around gaming. When I see that sort of behavior, I think, man, we should all have something better to do. And that turn right here? No, I don't want to go through a parking lot. I don't like that. We're gonna make our turn up here.
Never mind. I'll find a new route.
Yes, you will. Thank you. And I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I think that may have come out wrong, but maybe you get what I'm saying. The internet. The most vocal people on the internet, I think, tend to be the most broken people on the internet. I think there are certain platforms and certain venues that sort of draw in people that may struggle with communication, regulation, being able to moderate themselves. Right? It's like a loud drunk in a bar. You're not typically going to see that sort of behavior in an office, but you do see it in a bar. Bars pull in people who drink too much, and so you see that sort of behavior. So yeah. Anyway, enough about that. It's an interesting community to try to interact with, those train sim people, and we'll leave it at that. And what else? Now, Dirt 5 has been pushed back to November. That was supposed to be October, was it not? Because Ride 4 is going to drop early October. And I want to say Dirt 5 was going to drop early October as well, but now it has been pushed back, which, again, is fine. You know, there's a lot going on in the world. And I think, yep, I mean, Dead Stick is another sim that I've really been looking forward to, and I am confident saying that Dead Stick is it's all but gone now. And I think Microsoft Flight Simulator 20 sort of put the nail in that coffin. I get the impression they were struggling before to get that game done, and it really seems to be like maybe they pulled the plug. Again, that's my opinion. I don't know that, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm wrong about stuff all the time, but I suspect that studio has pulled the plug in the same way that Dovetail pulled the plug on the Steam version of FSX when they got wind of Microsoft Flight Simulator about a year ago, I want to say. Yeah, I'm sorry, it was Flight Sim World, FSW. They pulled the plug on that, and I mean, in a way, you can't really blame them because why commit resources to something that you know is not going to be viable in another year or so? Better to pull the plug early. Now, as far as how much transparency there was and how that process was handled, again, not a Dovetail fan, but if the process is handled well and you take care of your customers, I think that can be, hey, this sucks. It sucks for everybody. It sucks for you as gamers. It sucks for us as a studio and a team of people that has put a lot of heart and soul into resurrecting Flight Sim. But we're going to have to let it go, and this is the reason why, and this is how we're going to handle it, and this is how we're going to take care of you as customers and gamers. That's, I guess, the right way to do it, and then the wrong way to do it is the other way. So, yep, I don't know what's going to happen with Dead Stick. And the thing is, because it's early access and because I have no idea what the game would look like, past tense, or will look like, future tense, because I have no idea what it's going to be about, I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, it looks, well, the concept is amazing. The proof of concept and the early access stuff looks pretty good. It doesn't look great, but it looks pretty good. And I like the idea, and this is something that we want for Truck Sim, or some people want for Truck Sim, that I want for Truck Sim, that you can get out, walk around, do things in the world. You don't have to be able to do a lot, but just to be able to get out of the plane and refuel it. And you can do that in Train Sim, right? You can pull the train up to a fuel bunker, get out, take the cap off, put the hose in, spin the valve, right? I like those kinds of details. I also like the idea that there would be a little bit more of an immersive story mode in Dead Stick. Carefully. That would allow us to feel like we're sort of building a business, right? That we pick specific cargoes that we want to fly to specific places, and we're going to make better money because we've invested in specific upgrades for a specific aircraft with an eye to, a goal of building a specific kind of business. I like that, right? If in Truck Sim, we can buy all reefers if we want to. We can buy all we can buy all day cabs if we want to, and we can focus on certain types of jobs and building a certain type of business. We can buy a lot of garages that each have one driver. We can buy one garage that has a lot of drivers. Now, there is a mod for, it's either for X-Plane or FSX, but there is a mod called FS Economy that lets you do some of those things, but I don't know if it lets you do all of those things. Wow, this is really pretty. This is what Colorado is going to look like, but more so. What was I complaining about? What was I talking about? FS Economy. It lets you do some of those things, but I get the feeling that it's not quite as hands-on as Dead Stick wants to be. So that I would like to play with. I'd like to try that out. Looks like fun. I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to. Don't know what's going to happen with Dead Stick. And then there's a couple other little throwaway sims that I imagine are dead. I don't think, with everything that's going on, I mean, I don't know if they were going to be finished ever, but with everything that's going on in the world and so many studios being overseas, UK, Czech Republic, Ireland, right, scattered all around, I don't know if those are ever going to be done. And they're not that big a deal anyway, so it's okay if they're not. And yeah, man, just just being very very relieved that I got my tower fixed as quickly as I did, and like I joke about it, but not entirely joking. I can't believe they fixed my tower so fast. I could not use it as an excuse to buy another tower. Like, they got this one fixed and returned to me. Cost me nothing, and they did that quicker than I could set aside some time to get down to my local big box store and buy another one of these here HP Omens. Now, because this pushes the timeline back a little bit, I don't know if we're still on schedule. We're getting a little shimmer off these taillights and reflectors up here. I don't know how bad that is in the capture. You see that corona? Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, because it pushes the timeline back, I don't know if we still want to get that AMD system. I wouldn't mind having an AMD system just to compare. I wouldn't mind having AMD on both the CPU and the graphics card and play the same sim on each of them just to sort of compare. I wouldn't mind that, but I think I'm also, well, I'm definitely at a point where I would like to, carefully, I would like to build a really high-powered system, and I think building it myself is the way to go on that. It's a fairly simple process. If you've got like basic knowledge of things, it's something anybody can do. So, yep, I'm guessing that'll be the next system, and we'll just skip over one more pre-built, unless HP wants to sponsor me. I would not be opposed to that. Or, you know what? Maybe I would. Maybe I would. And the reason being is once you're sponsored, you're no longer editorially independent. You can't say and do what you want to do. You got to say and do things that are in line with your sponsor's brand. I don't know how I feel about that. But we're a ways out. I'm not expecting a call today or any other day. Whoa, careful. Heading down a very big hill. And what else? Flight sim, train sim, truck sim, dead stick, iRacing updated. Excited about that. They're continuing to extend the AI functionality of the game, and I'm curious how far that can go. I know it's primarily right now in GT4 and on ovals. I don't know if they're ever going to really bring it into road racing, and if they do, I don't know how good it's going to be. But they're bringing in a Corvette, and I want to say it's a GTE Corvette. Yeah, they're moving more in the GTE direction. I feel like they're moving away from GT3. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but iRacing used to have the Blancpain license, but now Kunos has it. Well, it's not Blancpain anymore. It's the GTWC by AWS. That's a mouthful. And so iRacing is focusing more on the GTE side. So I want to say that new C8 Corvette is GTE. And they also released an LMP2, which I'm definitely going to get. I didn't know the Honda, is it the HPD? The ARX, the current LMP2, the only LMP2 in iRacing is that car is from 2010, 2011. So it's nice to have another LMP2, something a little bit more contemporary. So I will pick one of those up, get a skin built for it, and yep, I posted a link in the Discord to the changelog for this latest patch for iRacing. But yep, that is definitely the go-to sim for multiplayer racing. I don't think anything can really compete with it right now. For realism, maybe Race Room or R Factor, but I find the matchmaking and just the overall quality of the experience to be significantly better with iRacing. They seem to really have it dialed. And I know they're a little bit heavy on the oval side, but the game does come from a NASCAR simulator, so that would make sense. Wow, this road is twisty. And what else? Assetto Corsa Competizione. We got the GT4 pack this summer. and we are supposed to get the British track pack this winter. But again, you know, winter's pretty long. All right, we just got
Keep right, and then
Ketchum.
continue
So I
straight
think we're
on.
going to head down here a little ways longer. Whoa, careful. We're going to head down here a little ways longer and then turn west for Nampa.
Go straight on.
Unless, you know what, we're right at 30 minutes and I'm just about to run out of things to talk about. Let's pull into next place we see where we can get fuel. We'll pull in there. And I assume, wow, it's really dark. I've got some filters running, but it is still really, really dark. I think I may need to tweak those settings a little bit. I don't see a fuel stop yet. Next fuel stop we see, we're going to pull in there and get some fuel. So let's get some windows down. Yeah, I'm not crazy about that cutoff. And I don't know if that's my filters or if that's something going on with this current patch. The game did patch up, and we're still on 1.38, but the game did patch up. Uh-oh. The game did patch up since the last time I played it, a couple weeks ago. I can see some type of facility or depot over there on the left. All right, we'll just play it by ear. Find a place to pull over. All right. That cab needs to get somewhere in Ketchum, Idaho. Ketchum is beautiful, by the way. This whole area, Ketchum, Haley, Sun Valley, Idaho it's amazing. The American West, well, I guess more the Mountain West, is a really special place to me. I love California, and particularly in Northern California, where you can be in the mountains, like in the Sierra Nevada mountains, in big mountains, and still be a couple hours from the ocean. I think that's unique to California. Oregon has that to some extent. Seattle has that, but Seattle doesn't have that. Seattle, all of Washington, I guess, is more of that rainforest aspect. So you never really get that hot California dry heat that I kind of like. So I don't know. It's a nice combination, but the Mountain West is, I don't know. It's just a very special place. Spend some time in the San Juans in Colorado, and that would explain it better than I ever could. All right, let's come around here. I mean, we are heading out of town. Is there no fuel in Ketchum? I didn't see any on the map as we went through there.
Go straight on.
All right, right through here. There may be some on the way out of town. If not, I guess we are headed all the way to Nampa. I ain't scared. I'll do it. We haven't done a 1-hour truck video in quite a while. I'm not saying this one's going to be an hour, but we haven't done a long one like that in quite a while. And anything up here? Nope. Bellevue. Okay. Get slowed down a little bit. Some type of altercation there on the right. A little bit of drama. Some other kind of drama. What in the world? I think that guy was being robbed. Sir. All right, I think we're going to Nampa. It's not too terribly far from here, and we're going to be going a lot faster now. So it could be that this is just another few minutes till we get there. And it also looks like the sun is beginning to come up a little bit. Once we got out of the trees, I can see a little blue sky out there. Now we are heading west. Try to get this centered. Man, I cannot get the dead zone set properly on my camera stick. I tapped down. Oh, sorry. I tapped down on my right stick to reset the camera. And no matter how big I set the dead zone, it still seems to... that's what we're looking for. So we're going to go straight here rather than make a right. Interesting. Okay. So when we didn't make the right... All right. So let this car go past. Sort of. Let this car go past. Make a big swing into here. All right, and then it does send us back the other way. Okay, I'll take it. Oh, this is fantastic. Turn signal off. And we'll pull right in here. I think this is a slot, is it not? Yeah, it is. Okay. And how's that? 35 minutes. Not bad. We'll finish this up next episode, or I'll take a look at the map and see if we're not too very far from Nampa. We'll just pull the rest of the way in off camera and call it good. All right, so we're going to stop right there. Down to neutral. Windows are down. Set the brake. Parking lights on. Engine is off. We'll hop outside and take a look. There you have it. Thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of American Truck Simulator. We'll see you next time. Take care now.